Hello, young artists. We have a lot to do today, so I'm going to go really fast. Today we're going to learn about the artist Vincent Van Gogh. We're going to look at some of his artwork. When we do that, we're going to learn about 3 genres of art. The 3 genres of art are landscape, portrait, and still life. We're going to learn a new vocabulary word in art, horizon line. Let's get started. Right here, I have all the words I want you to know. A genre is a French word. It just means group. Like the way we group books in the library, we have fiction and nonfiction, for example. We have different kinds of movies. We have comedies and adventures. Those are genres in movies. We have genres of music too. We have pop and rock and country and gospel and alternative and all kinds of music. So genre just means group. There are 3 main groups, and here are the words: portrait, still life, and landscape. We're going to look at the work of the artist Vincent Van Gogh. He was from the Netherlands, but he spent a lot of his life painting and drawing in France. And we're going to learn what a horizon line is. Let's look at the work of Vincent Van Gogh. This is a portrait of Vincent. A portrait is a picture of a person. This is a portrait that he painted of himself. So this is what he looked like. He used bright colors, oftentimes lots of yellow, and bold, I'll show you up close, bold brush strokes. But we're not painting today, we're just drawing. So we've seen Vincent, we've seen what a portrait is. Now we're going to look at landscapes. This is a landscape that he painted. We see sky and we see land. And there's a space in between where the land stops and the sky begins. And that place where you just can't see any more land, that place is called the horizon line. We'll look at some more of his landscapes. Here's one of an orchard. I'll hold it up close. It looks like springtime because of the colors. Here we see flat land. We see trees far away. It looks kind of blurry because they're far away. And the horizon line is somewhere back here. This is where the land stops. You can't see any more land. And then you see sky. Here is kind of a city scene. This is also a landscape, and we really can't see the horizon line at all, but I'll show you something. If you hold it, any piece of art, or if you just look out the window, or if you're outside, and you hold your pencil out like this, that's about where the horizon line would be. Now we can't see through the buildings, we don't have x-ray vision, but that's about where the horizon line would be in this landscape. We'll look at one more landscape. In this landscape, the land is very flat. So it's easy to see that horizon line. Everything above this is sky. It's easy to see the horizon line if you are at the beach. When you look out at the water in the ocean, it makes a straight line. We know it's wavy probably, but because it's so far away, you just see a straight line. Everything above that line is sky. Here's another landscape that he made, and the horizon line is here. It might be on the other side of that mountain that we can't see through, but the horizon line would be right about here, and everything above that would be sky. I'm going to start drawing now, and I'm going to draw on this piece of paper. I'm going to push these to the side so that you can see better what I'm doing. And I'm going to make a horizon line. Now let's talk about this paper. You might be working in your sketchbook. You should be working in your sketchbook. This is the top. This is the bottom. This is the middle. I'm going to make a horizon line below the middle, so there's lots of sky. I want you to do that too. But I'm going to put my hand here and I'm going to skip a space. Now, I want to show you a little trick for making a straight line. You don't have to do this, but I take the paper at the bottom and I fold it up just a little bit. I don't really fold it, I just kind of roll it. I don't want to make a crease here. Now, if you need to turn your sketchbook sideways to pull that paper up, you can do that. If you have a ruler, you can use a ruler. And if you have just a piece of paper, gosh, you can just fold it like that. You can fold it 2 times if you want to make it thicker. And it's like having a ruler, and you can go across your paper like that. Let me show you this other trick. You roll the paper, and I just want to roll it a little bit because I want my line to be below the middle. Remember, top, bottom, middle. I want to go below the middle. There's a reason why. And I'm going to put my hand maybe right there, and I'm going to put my marker on the edge of the paper, and that helps me make a straight line. I'm going to skip a space. I haven't told you why yet. Just skip a space, trust me. And then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to make a straight line. So when I let that go, my line is pretty straight, okay? So I've got a horizon line, but I skipped a space. You know why? I kind of tricked you. I led you to believe this was going to be a landscape, a picture of things outside with land and sky and a horizon line. I do want you to know that. I want you to know horizon line. I want you to know what a landscape is, that it's a picture of things outside. It could be a photograph or a drawing or a painting. But today we're going to make this other genre of art. We are going to make a still life. What's a still life? Well, we learned about portrait. We saw a picture of Vincent Van Gogh that he made of himself. We saw some of his landscapes. A still life, I've got them kind of hidden back here. A still life is an arrangement of objects that are still. It could be things that are alive or not alive. It could be books. It could be fruit in a bowl. But a lot of times, it's flowers in a vase. Artists love this theme. And this is a still life of sunflowers that Vincent painted. He painted about 10 of these still lifes. They are very, very famous and worth millions of dollars. And I want you to check out the wall. It's kind of like the sky. And then here is that line, like a horizon line. And we skipped a space. Here is another one of Vincent's still lifes. The line is at the bottom. So what is that? What is at that line? It's not a landscape, it's a still life. So this really isn't a horizon line. This is the edge of the table, and this is the wall. When we put that line here, it shows space between the table and the wall, or it shows that this is flat and the wall goes up. This is a way that you as an artist can get a sense of space in your artwork so it doesn't look flat. This one's a little harder because you see the corner of the table. Well, I didn't do that here, and I don't want you to do that either. That's a little bit harder. But notice where that vase is. That's why I skipped a space. I'm going to go back to this big one right here, and I'm going to show you some ideas for making the vase. If you look here, I've got a vase with straight sides, a vase with angled sides, so I'm using diagonal lines, and then this one's a bit more of a challenge. It's kind of a ginger jar shape. It's straight right there. The vase has a neck, and then it comes out like that, like a belly. Now, here's what these all have in common. They have a curve at the bottom. It's okay if you make it straight across, but if you make this a little bit curvy, it will help your vase look round, even though it's a flat or two-dimensional piece of paper and a two-dimensional kind of art. I'm going to put this to the side, and I'm going to draw my vase now. I'm not going to do the easiest one, the one that's straight sides. That's like a number 11. I'm going to make one that's a little bit curvy. I'm going to do one side and the other side and then the bottom. I'm not going to do the top, not at all. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start up here. I want to leave room for flowers, So I'm gonna start about here, and I'm gonna curve, and I'm gonna go below that horizon line. This is very important. You draw your line and you go below that line. So this shows the table, this is the wall. Now here's the hard part. I gotta flip that line over in my brain and try to draw it and make it match. And I'm using a Sharpie. I can't erase it. I hope you're using a pencil so you can practice this. I'm gonna go to this other side and I'm gonna go across. And I hope I matched it okay. Not too bad. I wanna think about how this goes across right here. And then I wanna drop it down just a wee bit. I'm gonna put a dot right there to mark my place. And then, because I'm left-handed, I'm gonna go over on this side. I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna make this just a little bit round like that. So you decide what kind of vase you want to make. And now we're gonna add flowers. And I'm gonna go really fast. So here we go. I'm gonna show you a still life two still lifes that students made last year. I'm going to skip a space and I'm gonna make a circle. And I'll make a big circle up here. And I'm gonna make flowers out of these. Over here, I'm gonna draw a curvy line and it's gonna get real close to this, like that. I'm gonna make that into a leaf and I wanna make kind of a football shape. So I'm gonna go here. And that looks kind of like a moon or a banana. And then I'm gonna flip that line and go the other way and I'm gonna let it touch right there. This is kind of like an S, if you pulled the S apart like that. This way, I'm gonna cover up the top of the vase and make it look like the flowers are spilling out and I don't have to draw the top of the vase. I don't want a bunch of stems. I want it full of flowers. So what I do is I don't draw the top of the vase. I draw flowers hanging over it. So watch this. This is gonna be a flower with a small middle and a long petal. And then I wanna go opposite, like that. And then I wanna go out this way. I got really close to that one. I'll show you what to do. And here, this almost runs off the page. I really wanna try to get these the same size. That's how flowers are. The petals are gonna be mostly about the same. So this one's gonna go in this direction. This one's gonna go in this direction. This one's gonna go in this direction. I can fill in with leaves later, like I might have a leaf that comes out here and it's tucked up under this. So now I've got overlapping. This flower is in front of that leaf. And I might have another leaf that comes out here and it's gonna have kind of a wobbly, that's kind of harder to draw, but that's a leaf like that. This flower is gonna be in front of a little bit this flower. And this one is gonna have short petals. I'm gonna do two here and two. Oop, I bump into that, so what do? Oops, I bump into that, I go that way, and then I go that way. These are all about the same size. I need to add, I could color that in green to make it look like a leaf. I could have a flower peeking out behind here. I'm gonna do that now, and I'm gonna make a fried egg flower. Do you know what a fried egg looks like? It's yellow in the middle with white around it. So I'm gonna draw a shape like that. I'm gonna draw part of the center of the fried egg right there. And then around it, I'm gonna make a wobbly line. And there are flowers like peonies that look kind of like that. That would be pretty if that was colored in a dark color and this was light. I'm gonna draw another flower up here and I'm gonna show you how to make a rose. This is kind of silly. Do you like potato chips? Well, gosh, I do. I'm gonna start with a flower, with a spiral. That's a spiral. I'm gonna add the letter C. It's just a curve, about 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and you can stop right there. That looks like a small rose that's opening up a little bit, but if you wanna make it bigger, we're gonna add potato chips. So the edge of a potato chip is a natural organic shape because it comes from a potato. And I'm just gonna kind of draw a wobbly shape like that. You can repeat any of these. You can make all your flowers the same. You can make all your flowers different. Let me show you a tulip. This is so easy. I'm gonna use 2 letters of the alphabet, a U and a W. That's it. This is so easy, check it out. I'm gonna go U, the letter U, and then at the top I'm gonna make a W. Done. Now right here, I'm gonna let a little bit of stem show. So I'm gonna make a line for the stem, and I might make a stem for this rose, but I don't want you to make a bunch of stems and then little flowers at the top. I want you to fill it up with big flowers like that. I might have room for a little stem here. It's hiding behind this flower, and I might do another tulip that's kind of bending over like that. And this sort of fills up this space right here. So look what we've got. We've got our horizon line, not really, it's the table. So we have a flat space here, we have the wall, and we have a vase full of flowers, and you have made a still life, young artist. So I want you to practice that in your sketchbook, and then we'll make a big one together and we'll color it all in, and we'll talk about all kinds of color combinations the next time. This drawing, you might spend 10 minutes on it or 20 minutes on it. You might spend an hour drawing lots of different kinds of flowers. So I want you to get started on this, and I'll see you next time.